So here we are with my new motherboard. It's an Asus Strix X570E gaming motherboard, and it's pretty cool. I have the 470 installed currently. There aren't a ton of, well, I mean, it's a totally different board, but as far as looks and features, they're kind of similar. The 570 version does come with some neat upgrades, besides PCI Express 4 and a couple other things, but I do like that it has that diagnostic LCD down there. The 470 board just has a couple of lights that change colors, which is also useful, but sometimes the numbers are a little bit more helpful. And of course it has cooling for the chipset. And probably slightly better VRMs to power the chip and everything else. Seems to have a little bit more of a heavy-duty heatsink around all the VRMs compared to the 470, which still has pretty good cooling, but not quite as substantial. So this is going to be fun. And the other neat thing is, I already kind of opened it up, but I got a 1 terabyte Sabrent Rocket M.2. It is really sweet. It's got it's PCI Express 4, and it comes in this really neat little case. It's metallic, metal. I'm not sure what kind. Brass, maybe? It's probably just tin with a little bit of paint on it. I'm not sure. But it opens up like that, and inside is beautiful. It's really pretty. It's almost a shame it's going to get covered up with the heatsink. But there it is. And I'll get back to that in a little bit. I've already pulled the heatsink off. I've got there's the lower M.2 slot and the upper. And I'm going to fill both of them. I've got the 1 terabyte for there, and then I have my older, 250 gig, I believe. That'll go down there. And I'll get to that now. Woohoo! Now it's time to put on M.2s. And I messed up a little bit on my last build and did one of these too tight. I'm just going to do it by hand. I do have a little tiny socket. Unfortunately, I don't have any better tools than this for this particular job. Okay. Just need it tight enough to not fall out. And another little guy right here. These things are so tiny. Yeah, and the last one I did, I torqued it too much, and one of these little nutserts or whatever they are twisted right on out. So it held enough over the last year or two that I've had it. It was just in this bottom one, not the main one. So that's good. It's just the bottom one. It was a secondary, not the main one, which was really nice. This one, I'm not going to do that because I want to use both slots. All right. First one is this little guy. Little teeny tiny screws. This isn't magnetic screwdriver, unfortunately. Go center that thing in there, make sure it's all the way in the slot. And screw in the hole. There we go. Just gotta hold it in place. There's not a whole lot of pressure there. It's just a happy little screw. Happy little M.2. All right, where's my other one? There we go. Yeah, this one's only $250. I think probably eventually I'll upgrade this to something bigger. I do have, already have a Gen 3. I think the other one's also a Samsung. Yeah, so I already have another Gen 3 1 terabyte Samsung, but it is going to be used for the other computer I'm going to build. I'm just going to leave it on the motherboard that it's on now, and that's going to go to the kids when I'm done with this. It'll probably take a while to complete all these because there's a lot more software work to be done than anything. Plus, you know, I have to figure out where to put the kids' computer since they don't really have much of a desk or a clean room for that matter. Okay, 2 M.2s. I think I'm going to leave the heat sinks off for now. Mostly because of this screw hole right here. I'm going to need to put in one of the motherboard screws. I could do it through this hole if I put the heatsink on now, but well, I suppose it depends on how well my motherboard or my screwdriver holds the screws. This is a little bit magnetic, but you know, I'd have to finagle it down through that hole and into this hole. I'll just move on for now. Let's see. Probably open this up next. Ryzen 7 5800X. Ah, that's a really big box. And all that's in there is this. Probably a holdover from the days when they included a cooling fan. So since I have water cooling on this system already, I'll probably leave it there and then use the cooler that came with the Ryzen 2700 on the kids' computer, because it's an airflow case and there should be plenty of fans, and those things don't get all that hot anyway. And of course there's a little sticker in there. Okay, it's been a while. Let's see. Over and up. Where is my alignment mark? Okay, there's the little triangle on the CPU. Where's the mark? Ah, there it is, right there. Can barely see a little triangle shape. Fill right in. Definitely don't want to force that because I don't want to bend the pins on the chip. That is just a pretty processor right there. And then a little clampy. Pow. Okay. Don't pull too hard because you can pull these out, but I just wanted to make sure it's not coming out easy. Make sure it's all clamped down properly. Hopefully you could see that and I didn't get my head in the way. That's okay. All right, I want to make sure I get the RAM in the right spots. Okay, that's what I thought. These are labeled and they have stars by the ones, the second and fourth one, which are the ones I'm going to populate for now. I would like to fill all 4 slots, but this particular kit was a better deal than getting 4 sticks, at least at the time I bought them. So this is actually 2. What did I get? 2 16 gig, 3600, yeah, CL16. So I got 32 gigs of RAM, which is way more than I probably need, but there have been a couple times, especially working with video files, that I filled up all 16 gigs. So this will solve any kind of problem like that for a long time. These are G.Skill Trident Z with the RGB on the top. I'd like to fill all 4 slots just because it looks cool, but this will be plenty fast enough, that's for sure. Oh, there we go. I don't know, I always do 4, just out of habit. Just lined up right. Come on. There we go. I think. Nope, that's not. There we go. Sometimes it's better to get a different perspective. There we go. Click, click. Good sound. And spot number 4 here. Click, click. And just a little pressure on there just to make sure. And done. Okay, I can't put the cooler on because it's in the case. So I guess it's time to tear apart the old system. And now I've got a big old mess. I'm going to go ahead and put these heat sinks on. Because, there we go. Because I noticed in this case that the standoff that goes right there where the heatsink is doesn't have a spot for a screw. So all you have to do is put it on there and not worry about it, which makes it easier for me. Alright, where did I put my screwdriver? There we go. Alright. Gotta make sure I get lined up. One. Yeah, see, I didn't even notice that. There's a sticker on the back I gotta take off. Oh, they're captive screws, I guess. That's nice. So yeah, you take off this sticker. And it's a thermal pad underneath here. If I can get it with my disgusting fingernails. There we go. Okay, let's try that again. There. Right there, it looks like it. Screw seems to be going in, I think. Yep. Come on, get on the screw. There we go. Use a smaller driver. Here we go. Oop. Okay, doesn't need to be super tight. So there's a little cushion on the back side of where the M.2 card goes that pushes it up against the heatsink. So that should be nice and cool from now on. I'm guessing there's one on this side too. Yep. This one goes this way, I believe. Yeah, because there's a thinner flat spot for this little cover to go on. Way down here. It doesn't look straight. There we go. Okay. Whoops. Oh no. I'm going to have to pause it while I find those screws. Fortunately, they didn't go as far as I thought they did. Alright. Cover up this cute little fan. exactly? Might go this way. Nope. Well, maybe. Yeah, there it is. Bloop, falls right in place. And these are teeny tiny little guys. Bloop. Teeny tiny. Screw. Now it's back in its home. Where it'll stay until I upgrade this. If I upgrade this, eventually sometime in the future. Okay, I'm kind of glad you won't be able to see this, because it's kind of a mess of cables and things in there. So hopefully I won't have to force anything too much. Alright. I do have to move the cooler out of the way. Yeah, up there. And stay there. Oop, I said stay. I have to get that wire out of the way. One thing I really love about these boards is you don't have to put the faceplate on. It comes with it already attached. Very, very convenient. Can't tell you how many times I've forgotten those stupid things. Only to have to take the whole thing apart afterwards and redo it. I got so many wires in the way. Okay, I see all the standoffs through the holes. There we go. Yeah, it shouldn't have anything behind there. Everything comes through the grommet or around the top or the bottom. Again, try not to tighten them too much, because I think they'll help. I really like this case, but I'm having one issue with it that's driving me nuts. When the fans hit a certain RPM, something in here starts rattling. Might be this. There's a basement down here for all the power equipment and a couple hard drives, and it's got a cover on it that's removable, and I think that cover is just loose enough where it vibrates a little bit. And for a case that's from a brand called Be Quiet, that's very annoying. Sometimes I can get it to stop just by putting a hand back here. So I don't know yet what I'm going to do about that. Anyway, one more screw. Fan headers are in a slightly different place here on this board. got 3 of them up there. Plus it looks like an RGB controller, which is cool because it used to be down here. So I'm gonna have to probably end up taking some of the wiring off in the back and redoing it because things aren't in quite the same place as the old one. Yeah, I'm not going to bore you with those details, so... Okay, well, I went a little farther than I intended to. It got late last night and had put the kids to bed and didn't want to wake them up with my yabbering, so... And this light, I don't know if that's going to come through on the video or not, but it's making the camera flicker quite a bit, or at least the camera is picking up the flicker of the light. Anyway, so I got it all back together again, and I still have to do some tweaking and tuning on it, but I copied everything over to the SSD before I put it in from the old one. There's an exact copy. I used Partition Magic. Yeah, Partition Magic in it. I put the new M.2 in the second slot of the original motherboard, and it picked it up right away and says, "Hey, you want to duplicate it?" And I said, "Yes." And then it went. That's all I had to do. However, since there was a lot of change as far as hardware goes, it told me that Windows was no longer validated. So I got a new copy of Windows. I went with Pro this time because I got a good deal on it. So there we go. It's all together and more or less cable managed. It's got kind of a theme going on with the mostly black and the gray accents, and white for where all the LEDs are. Let's get this thing turned on. All right. Ooh. Lights. Pretty lights. So I had an extra fan, and so I used it right there as an extra puller on the radiator. I've got 2 fans on the other side of the radiator that are not lit up, that push the air through, and it keeps the thing pretty cool. And then of course I've got all those other fans, and then there's that one hidden down there. And then there's one in the power supply. So that's a lot of fans. It keeps it nice and cool. So now I've just got to tweak the BIOS a little bit more and I'm off and running. There it is.